Just Stop Oil. They've made headlines because of their problematic tactics, climbing on motorway gantries, vandalising priceless art, gluing themselves to objects, and interrupting sports events. Despite only forming in February 2022, Just Stop Oil has a 92% name recognition in the UK. That makes them more famous than Greenpeace. I travelled to Westminster in London to see the activists at work. You can see just behind me the Just Stop Oil group, who are on their second week of their 3 weeks of disruption here in London. They set off at 11:30 from just by Trafalgar Square and have walked down the road just behind me. The police have now started to intervene. I presume there's going to be arrests. There have been some throughout the last week as well. In recent years, they say that the government subsidies for fossil fuel production and consumption has equalled about £12 billion. And since the last year, well over 2,000 arrests have been made on Just Stop Oil protesters. Jane Touil spoke to me about the group's demographics.
We are all ordinary people. There is no difference. What the press try to do is label us as eco-zealots or activists or people who are not ordinary people. We're all ordinary people. Everyone has their own motivations. Some do it for their grandkids. Some do it because they have an affinity with people in the global south, people in poor countries who've done nothing to contribute to this crisis but are now dying horrific deaths. And they find a moral compulsion. A lot of people are motivated by religious beliefs. We have a lot of Quakers, a lot of Christians, a lot of Buddhists. There are many, many motivations, but we are all non-violent and we are all doing this out of love.
Later that day, a second, smaller group of protesters took to the streets. The group behind me are all mothers. Their placards dedicated to their families. At 1:45, the Metropolitan Police arrived and started arresting the protesters behind me. They're taking some of their details down, of course some of them refusing to give any details to the police. The reason they've been doing it today is because they see no other option. Dr. Felicity used to work for the NHS before becoming a counsellor. She supports Just Stop Oil's methods.
They're not really doing any very much harm, apart from embarrassing the government. And in terms of the environmental destruction that other companies are doing, through policies led by the government, they're not doing anything about that.